I just want to quickly we'll wrap this up soon. But I want to go over just the last point was the ladder. Where do you think we'll go? And I want to kind of preface this with I had this discussion with this guy online, and I, I was reacting to the comments from James Graham that he thinks we're gonna drop off, and I suppose my interpretation of a drop off is outside of the top eight.
Yeah.
But that may be different for everyone. What drop off means. I had us still kind of in and around fourth and sixth.
Yep.
And my reasoning was I think Webby will maintain. I think players have really bought in. Look, there's potential AFB could fall off. We don't know yet. Based on the situation, SJ could get injured. We know these things are kind of fragile in some sense. But if everything kind of even with the inclusion of RTS, CHT, everything coming back in, with Webby as a second year coach, buy-ins high, I think we should be able to maintain that level of either fourth to sixth or somewhere around there. My only other option was thinking that the other teams will pick up. I feel like the Rabbitohs, Roosters, they're just that good in terms of squad, and should be able to get themselves back up in and around the top four.
Yeah.
So I don't see it as a drop off as such. But do you guys think we'll kind of drop down the ladder, or do you think we'll maintain? And do you think there is a potential that we could have a bad season? We saw that with the Cowboys and the Eels. Anton, I'll check that in you, bro. What's your thoughts on that?
So I heard the James Graham podcast when he said it, and it didn't surprise me. Like a lot of people picked us for the spoon last year.
Yeah.
So like their podcast is notoriously Sydney centric. They talk a shitload about the Bunnies and the Bulldogs and the Tigers. They really do go on about the Sydney clubs a lot.
Yeah.
I think for them and for a lot of Australian pundits, it's quite a lazy thing to just fall back on I guess 30 years of history of Warriors underperforming. They'll have a good year and then they'll have 6 bad years.
Yeah.
So they're it's an easy narrative to default to. And there's the other narrative too is like, okay, you've got a rookie coach comes in and has a really good first season. Then they figure out, other teams figure out their plays and they get a bit stale and, the team realizes that, oh, maybe this is a bit harder than we thought it was. And they drop off like the Cowboys and like Fitzgibbon with the Sharks. Like, they start with a hiss and a roar and people go, wow, I can't believe, where they found this guy. And then all of a sudden they're looking at each other kind of going, what went wrong there? This feels different. For one, our squad is stronger.
Yep.
There's a belief in the camp that it has to be this year.
Yep.
I don't think we're going to leave anything in the tank at all this season in any game. I think we'll approach this season like this is the one.
Yep.
For some players, it could be their last season. You've got Sean, you got Chance, you got Harris, you got Roger. They're all playing together again.
Incredible.
They're playing together in the same fucking team, and it may be the last time ever.
Yeah.
And Webster is a smart coach. He knows the areas we need to improve on.
Yep.
He knows that we need to go up a gear from last year, and he's going to be building all the. I mean, he took us from like 14th to 4th, or whatever it was, right? He can take us from 4th to 1st.
Yep.
I'm fucking backing us in. I put money on it already.
I love it.
I'm gonna say we won't win the minor premiership, but we're gonna be having our hands on the trophy at the end of the season. Fucking backing us in, man.
I love it, man. Love it.
And as soon as Bunty picks the trophy up, I might cry.
Yeah, there it is, Bala. There it is.
Because then I can say he's a premiership winner and go fuck yourself.
You're incredible, man. With me, my brother. So I've done like one of those, ladder predictions and stuff like that, and I've like, kind of worked around like certain games and stuff where we're gonna maybe see where we're gonna come up and drop off a little bit, whatever's happening. I still see us in that 4 to 6 range. Like at the moment, my latest one, I had us in that 6th spot. but it was like, it wasn't like a drop off for us because there's still, like, as you said, like the competition around us has gotten so much better as well. And we've gotten better as well. So it's like, it's really tough to say, like, certain moments of the year where we're going to have drop offs and stuff like that. But I've tried to picture it like our first start, we could go 3-1. The only game where I really see us having a test there is the Melbourne Storm, as we always have like a major test with the Melbourne Storm, whether we have some good wins against them, but also we can have some decent losses against them as well. But we have some really good like games between there. And then we could have like a little bit of a dip around like 9 to 11. I think we play a couple of really tough squads, and I think we pick it back up, I said, around the Dolphins game at home. So we got the Dolphins at home again. I see, Dolphins are definitely stronger this year as well, but I think just that our depth and our quality in certain positions is incredible as well. So I got us around that 6 range, 4 to 6. I hope we stay in that top 4 because obviously we have that biggest chance of winning the competition from top 4. But like if I'm going to be so level-headed to where I'm trying to picture every other team and really where we sit, like I don't want to see us really drop further than maybe that 6. Like top 6 is definitely where I think we're going to hopefully be sitting. I don't want to put too much pressure on the boys either. Like Webby did an amazing job last year to get us into that top 4 discussion. And we had some amazing moments where, we started the year, we could see a buildings of a good squad, but we weren't really there yet. Then Webby just tinkered with certain things throughout the whole season, and you could see the growth in the squad to where we got to. And that Knights game, we put it all together. Even the Sharks game before, I think we had a couple of the really soft run going into finals. That Sharks game when we put it all together as well, it was towards the end of the year. It was our attack was humming, but our defense was looking really, really strong. So I can just see Webby just keep tinkering and really find out the real edge to the squad and just put us to a whole different level. So I don't think we're going to drop off as per se, where a lot of people say drop out of the 8. That's just my opinion. Obviously, I'm a Warriors fan and all that. Yep. Take that as you will. But I honestly think we've got, again, another top 4 potential side. So I have 4 to 6.
My thought was, I'm with you guys. I think we should be able to maintain. My big thing is I want to beat the big teams in the regular season.
Yeah.
Like I want to beat Melbourne at home. I want to beat Penrith at Magic Round. I want to beat Rabbitohs, Roosters, wherever we're playing them. If we end up 5th or 6th and we beat those teams throughout the year, there's a mental, thing that we know we can beat these guys, So
100%.
For me, we got to aim up for these games. Like I don't want any of this, pussyfooting around where we beat up on the bad teams and then we lose the big one but we go for it on a 1-game winning streak against bottom 8 clubs. We need to win these big games to really kind of like. I love what we did against the Knights in the finals, and I thought that was a pivotal moment for our club, man. It was just huge. I felt. We needed that win at home, and it's done so much for us. But we need to go another step. We need to go to a prelim, but we also need to know, hey, if we come up against the Panthers again or Broncos, we're going to beat them. And I think that's a big thing for me.
That's why I haven't looked too much into the draw. Like we actually have an all right draw to start the year, but I don't think we should be intimidated by any of those games. No. None of them. The Panthers, for me, are still the team to beat, obviously.
Yeah.
I actually think the Broncos are more at risk of declining than we are.
Yeah.
I think some of their losses are, because everyone saw them in the grand final, how close they were and whatever.
Yeah.
And just thinks they're going to continue on.
Yep.
It's a pretty young squad. That's a young squad apart from a couple of people, and they've lost Flegler and they've lost Capewell.
Yep.
So we've seen with some grand finalists in previous years miss the 8 altogether the following year.
Yep.
Yeah. Souths.
Yep.
So then they had a really strong roster, South. So and I look at some of those teams as well. Like on paper, they're really good. They're starting 13, but their bench, I don't think they have as good as bench as we do.
Yeah.
And I think if we can get our defense right and become one of the best defensive sides in the comp, there's no reason that we can't shut those teams out that score a lot of points but they leak. If we can stop them getting through and we can hang our hats on our defensive structures, then I think that's how we beat those teams. We'll score points. That's no problem.
Yep.
But we just gotta find a way to get that structure right where they just can't find a way through. And how good's it going to be at Mount Smart this year?
Oh man, it's gonna be insane, eh?
It's going to be so good, bro.
Yeah, no, it is. It really is. We need it, man. We need that crowd hissing every week.